I rarely use left-wing activist sites like Politico. They're called Bullco for a reason. But Politico had an interesting piece up, so you know what? It may be worth your time. I read it. It doesn't seem actively, but once in a while, even a blind squirrel finds a nut. Interesting piece about the key swing state of Minnesota. Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump lost Minnesota by just tens of thousands of votes. I mean, a sliver in the grand scheme of electoral national presidential elections. Minnesota, if President Trump wins Minnesota during the next election and can pull off the states he won before, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, the path for Democrats is almost non-existent. Almost non-existent. Now, as we've seen, unfortunately, over the last few months, fortunes can change quickly. That's why I always tell you when discussing polls and elections, it is a data point in time. Be very careful. Politico by Adam Basutti. Forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong. Minnesota on the edge. Quote, this is a voter. I voted Democrat my whole life, but it's getting tougher. In a mining town in the heart of Humphrey, Mondale, and Wellstone territory, Trump stakes his claim. This is a fascinating piece. It's mining community in Minnesota, and it's interesting because it talks about this dynamic about how union, working class, dirt under the fingernails, we make America work crowd, because you do. You build it, you repair it, you fix it, and you fuel it. I've never had any, this constant, like, Republicans don't like unions is nonsense. I just don't like people being forced to join any organization, unions included. My brother's in a union. You built this country. You make it work. Good for you. And I mean that. We'd be lost without you. But this fascinating, you're watching a paradigm shift in politics right now, Joe, as these dirt under the fingernail workers who've been in unions. And the piece is rather long, but it'll be up in the show notes today. Please read it. Bongino.com/newsletter. Go there, subscribe to my email list. I'll email you these articles every morning. They're worth your time. Talks about how you're seeing this phenomenon in oil fields, in Pennsylvania, in the working class towns in Pennsylvania, and Minnesota as well, as these union workers who voted Democrat their whole life are saying, I'm kind of done with this. And ladies and gentlemen, when you get through the article, you come to this conclusion. If you're trying to look at it collectively, like not just isolated single subject cases here, when you talk to these unions and you kind of pull their responses, it's clear as day the left's infatuation with this climate religion.
Oh,
we're all going to die, Joe. No more. We can't have any more fossil fuels, no more mining. That union workers are finally waking up and they're saying, hey, when these Democrats crap all over the fuel industry, the petroleum industry, and the mining industry, that's me. That's me. Now, this isn't new. I mean, we've been talking about on this show how good Republicans, there are awful Republicans too, please. We don't even need to go down that road yet. We know that. How good conservative Republicans who believe in the free market, I've said forever, they're your best friends. You could get all the union rules you want and still buy Democrats if there's no work out there because the economy stinks. All of this stuff is for naught. It means nothing. But now people in Minnesota, in this town in Minnesota they talk about, here's a little quote at the end, are starting to realize that the free market's your friend, and Trump has been the guy to blast through the door. Quote from the Politico piece. This is from a voter. I just feel like Trump came along and just basically opened the door for people, she said. Mining is their history. They went with Trump because he was opening the door for it. I don't want to beat this up a lot, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to put that story out there for you to read, because if they lose Minnesota too, and Trump holds what he did in the last election, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Florida, the swing states, North Carolina, there is almost no path for them for victory. None. And I want to salute people in unions who work hard for a living, who are finally starting to realize that, pro-business economy first principles matter. The New Green Deal, the Green New Deal, what Sean Hannity calls it, the Green New Deal, whatever one it is, the Green New Deal. This is a quick path for you to find yourself without a job. You talk about all the benefits you want. The benefits are relevant if you're not working.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.